The Eagles just got exactly what they were missing, as following a defense-heavy game by both teams, they relied on this one defensive stud who made his name known in Philadelphia and the whole world. Who is this player? Well, we'll break this down on a special post-game edition of Eagles Digest. What's going on, guys? I'm Alex Brooks alongside Jack Kieley with a special post-game edition of Eagles Digest as the Eagles get a big conference win against the Green Bay Packers, 10-7. Big conference win, big momentum win off of the bye week. But before we get into everything surrounding this video, we see that 98.4% are not subscribed to this channel who watch our videos. So if you're watching this channel for the first time, if you're a returning viewer, you guys better hit that subscribe button, comment down below, let us know your thoughts on this 10-7 victory against the Philadelphia Eagles. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever you guys feel, comment down below, let us know about it. But Jack, just wanted to get your opening thoughts on this Philadelphia Eagles win against the Green Bay Packers, a big defensive win for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just really impressive by the Eagles defense.
Yeah, boy, Alex, you talk about defense, and that is one of the weirdest football games I've ever watched in my life. I don't think I've ever watched a first half where both teams have not scored a point, not gotten anything on the board. It seemed like whenever each team had just the slightest opportunity of scoring, they went ahead and got a 3-and-out, had to punt it away, forced a fumble, forced a turnover. It was just a fun game to watch for me, especially my love of defense.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, if you love defense, you loved this game. I mean, it kind of reminded me of the Patriots and Rams Super Bowl back in 2018 when nothing was going right for any of the offenses, and it was very a defensive game. It kind of reminded me of that, obviously on a lower level of being a regular season game, but still not scoring a point throughout the first half. I mean, that was insane. So, just getting more into this game, I wanted to talk about a big defensive stud for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Phillips. What a performance. What a debut by Jalen Phillips here. He had 4 solo tackles, and he manifests this in his press conference. He's holding up the 4, meaning that he was going to get 4 solo tackles in his debut against the Green Bay Packers. So, he's manifesting his time. He called it the greatest thing that's ever happened to him going to the Philadelphia Eagles in his life, and he really made a name for himself, and he really showed why he wants to be a top defender and be re-signed to the Eagles soon.
Yeah, I mean, what an acquisition by Howie Roseman at the trade deadline, Alex. I mean, this guy has been, I think, when he's perfectly healthy, he's one of the best edge rushers in the entire league. And to really just get a chance on a contending team like the Philadelphia Eagles and kind of not rotting away over there in Miami, I think this is a great chance for him to really succeed under a great defensive coordinator, whom he worked with in Miami back in his heydays with the Dolphins. So I think, this is just a testament to how well he's going to play this season for the rest of the regular season of the NFL. And how he's going to match up against in the playoffs again. Now, this team could be a playoff matchup like it was last year with the Green Bay Packers. So this is kind of a little bit of a foreshadowing on what we could see week 1 in the wild card, or maybe in round 2, or perhaps the conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, these teams hate each other, Jack. I mean, they do not like each other. The Green Bay Packers are trying to ban the tush push. We obviously now have Micah Parsons, so that's another wrinkle in this rivalry that's starting out for the Philadelphia Eagles. But getting more on this defensive performance, and we'll get to the offensive struggles a little later in this episode. But, this defensive performance from the Philadelphia Eagles. This is what we wanted to see against a Green Bay Packers team that didn't have a lot of their weapons. Romeo Doubs went out with an injury earlier in this game. Tucker Kraft obviously had an ACL injury, and you just had to really rely on, stopping Josh Jacobs and really doing what you need to do against these wide receivers. And they put up a great fight. It really felt like this game could go either way, but the Eagles defense remained strong. And I think one guy you're looking at right now, we're all looking at, is Nakobe Dean having a sack and a forced fumble, a big forced fumble on Jordan Love that really kept this game in the Eagles' hands.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, just at all three levels of this game, you could look at the defensive line who was putting pressure on the Green Bay Packers. Almost nearly, it seemed like every second or third snap of the game, they were applying pressure to Jordan Love, who, credit to him, did a really good job of avoiding the pressure all night. Really good pocket navigation by him and by Jalen Hurts, but we'll talk about him a little bit later. But yeah, just from all three levels, from the defensive line, the linebackers, their coverage, their run defense, and even in the secondary. I mean, Jordan Love could not find anybody open tonight. Now you could attest that to the pass rush that was very effective tonight. But yeah, Quinyon Mitchell, especially having, I think it was 2 or 3 pass deflections tonight. He was an absolute stud tonight in the secondary.
Yeah, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I mean, we even saw Adoree Jackson make some nice plays. He made some nice tackles. He made some nice, deflections. Makuba was out there doing his dirty work. So all of these guys, really, it was a team win by this defense. I mean, you could name anybody on this defense and really just have a positive note from them. I mean, you obviously have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They did their thing in the run game, and Jalen Carter having a lot of pressures today. And obviously, Jalix Hunt having a big sack as well. I mean, this is just something for this Philadelphia Eagles team that having this defensive performance, Vic Fangio is going to be happy about this. But obviously, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, it was something that was not really what we wanted to see coming out of the bye week. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he kind of didn't have a lot of space. He didn't have a lot of, things going here. When we look at his stats from the game, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. So he didn't, he only turned the ball over once with his fumble, but he didn't throw any interceptions. He kind of gave it a little bit too conservative for my liking, Jack.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. I think he did a good job tonight. Sorry, against this very, very talented Packers defense. I think he was great at navigating the pocket. Of course, there's always a big narrative around Jalen Hurts and his pocket presence, where he's leaving clean pockets very early. But tonight the pass rush from Green Bay was very effective, and he did have to leave the pocket quite a few times. But he was effective when he was outside, making a very, very nice play around the first or second quarter to Will Shipley to get a first down. But another guy I want to talk about tonight who had to come in for All-Pro Lane Johnson was Fred Johnson tonight, who played an excellent game, coming in for someone who, holds a very high standard in the NFL. And, when you're coming in for a guy like Lane Johnson and you're holding up against a very, very talented top 5 defensive line in the NFL, I think that's just a testament to how deep this team is in the Philadelphia Eagles, and how good Vic Fangio is, not Vic Fangio, how Jeff Stoutland is at developing his offensive linemen, and what he can do with lower draft picks. He was actually an undrafted free agent, so I think that's just a testament to how well the Eagles are good at drafting and signing and developing their players.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, Jack. I mean, when you're looking at it in the beginning of the season, Fred Johnson was a free agent. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Howie Roseman, just another testament to Howie Roseman. We talked about it with Jalen Phillips. Howie Roseman was able to say, "Ooh, we kind of need Fred Johnson back." So he just went out and just gave a draft pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars, got Fred Johnson back, and it was paramount to the victory today, as you were mentioning. So, really big kudos to Fred Johnson and this Eagles offensive line as a whole. One thing that I really wanted to bring up about this Eagles offensive line, obviously the running game kind of just was a little stagnant to begin with. They got, what they needed to do, but when you're just looking at the stats from the rushing, Saquon Barkley was able to get 60 yards on the ground. He was able to get, over 90 yards with all scrimmage. But when you're just looking at it for the rushing lanes, there wasn't a lot. It was not really creative when going to the rushing. But, with the passing right now, it's just got to get a little bit better with the creativity and getting these wide receivers to have separation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's been a problem with this run game so far this year, Alex. There just hasn't been a lot of creativity. Kevin Patullo hasn't really, pulled out the playbook very much and kind of just expanded his knowledge into this run game. But, of course, the run blocking, of course, hasn't been all there this season as well. And Saquon Barkley has had his stuffs too. I mean, there's a few times tonight where he did trip up a couple times. And, there was a play where Jordan Mailata also was pulling off to the right side and he tripped up as well. So, it's not all on Kevin Patullo. It's kind of all on the team as well. But this run game is definitely taken a dive, a significant dive from last year, and it's something that they definitely need to clean up before they waste a year of Saquon Barkley's prime.
Yeah, and I mean, creds to the Packers defense, creds to, everything that they were doing today. They really got after
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley and especially Jalen Hurts. They
yeah,
really made him exit the pocket a little bit more. Micah Parsons was giving him pressure. There was a lot of different things that the Packers were showing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Their corners played phenomenal today. So that's something that for the Green Bay Packers that they should be proud of. But obviously when push comes to shove, Eagles were able to prevail. But, kind of looking at where to go from here, Jack, because obviously we've talked about the Eagles win against the Green Bay Packers 10-7. Not a pretty win by all means, but whatever matters in this league, it's a W at the end of the day. So, where to go from here? Detroit Lions are coming into Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football. You're going to be back home. It's a short week. They're going to go against a team that just dropped over 40 points against the Washington Commanders. So, they're trying to fight with the Green Bay Packers to have that lead in the NFC North. So a lot of different things going after there. What is your biggest takeaway and what are you previewing for that Detroit Lions matchup?
Well, specifically, Alex, I really think that whatever we saw in this defense tonight has to come out on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. I think that is the most important part because we know
For
how
sure.
talented this offense is for the Detroit Lions. Even after the departure of Ben Johnson, who went to the Chicago Bears, it doesn't even seem like they've lost a step in the slightest. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody is just still producing at the exact same level, if not more, on this offense. So I really do think that this defense really, really needs to nail down what they need to do against this Lions team on Sunday because that is absolutely the most important aspect going into Sunday, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the clash of titans. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles defense, their Philadelphia Eagles offense. See if Kevin Patul can throw some, creativity in there against one of the most creative offenses in the NFL and the Detroit Lions. So Sunday Night Football is going to be crazy. We're going to have all coverage here all week surrounding this Philadelphia Eagles team. But that's going to do it for the post-game coverage on Eagles Digest. For Jack Kieley, my name is Alex Brooks. We'll give you so much coverage throughout this week. Comment your thoughts below. What do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles improving to 7-2 on the season? Hope you guys have a great night. Go Birds and fly, Eagles, fly.